WNBA owners are moving along with business. They're not entertaining these games with the WNBPA. We got to break this down. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. Let's get right into this here first. The WNBA issued a statement. All right.
January 20th. The WNBA owners' non-negotiable deadline for core player designations is here, and they're not waiting for the players' union to get its act together. While the WNBPA made headlines with public statements about revenue-sharing models, the league quietly called every general manager and gave the same instructions. White heavy checkmark proceed with free agency planning. White heavy checkmark start contacting your targets. White heavy checkmark get your offers ready. We're moving forward, with or without a new CBA. This isn't how the players' union expected the negotiation to unfold. And the stark contrast between these approaches makes one thing crystal clear. Leverage is not with the union. It's firmly in the league's hands.
Our priority is a deal that significantly increases players' salaries. That is the key thing. That is where these two is different. The WNBA said our priority is a deal that significantly increases players' salaries, enhances the overall player experience, and supports long-term growth of the league for current and future generations of players and fans. Now, I want you to remember that very first part. Our priority is a deal that significantly...
Read that line again. The priority is a deal that significantly raises player salaries. That's what the WNBA ownership group highlighted in their official statement. And this sentence is the most important in the entire negotiation, because here's the truth. The owners already did that. $1.3 million max contracts, white heavy checkmark. $550,000 mid-tier salaries, white heavy checkmark. Rookie deals starting at $250,000, white heavy checkmark. These are massive increases compared to the expired CBA. Yet the players' union isn't talking about salaries in their public statements. Instead, they're focused entirely on revenue-sharing percentages. And that disconnect? That's why we're stuck in a status quo instead of celebrating a brand new deal.
The players are key. If you go look at the WNBPA statement, they are talking about this new revenue-sharing model. They're not talking about increased salaries. They want rev share that they feel like would not happen without the players and yada, yada, yada. That is where these two parties, there's a major disconnect. That's where there's a major disconnect. Now, the WNBA front office has
Front office sports reporter Annie Castable explained exactly what this status quo period means from a legal standpoint. Under U.S. labor law, the WNBA is required to maintain the conditions of the expired CBA while negotiations continue. That means qualifying offers, core player designations, and all standard free agency processes stay in effect. Essentially, the league is operating under the old salary structure until a new agreement is ratified. The league even proposed a moratorium to the union just 1 hour before Friday's midnight deadline, a complete pause on free agency activity until the CBA is finalized. The union rejected it, which leaves us in a weird limbo. Teams can make offers, but players likely won't sign yet because the numbers will change once the new CBA is official. Here's the smart move from the owners. They're telling teams to start discussions anyway. Figure out who wants to go where, get verbal commitments, and build the framework. Once the CBA is signed, everything will move lightning fast. The Toronto and Portland expansion draft comes first, followed immediately by free agency. There's simply no time to waste.
The free agents and all of this stuff should be set up by January 11th from what I read. Here we go. When the clock strikes midnight on Friday night, it already happened, the third deadline in negotiations between the WNBA and WNBPA for a new collective bargaining agreement will have come and gone with no deal. The league won't turn into a pumpkin, but negotiations will enter a period of status quo. That means both sides can continue negotiating while maintaining the conditions of the current CBA. Under U.S. labor law, the WNBA has a
This is owners playing chess while the players' union is playing checkers. Think about the position this puts the WNBA Players Association, WNBPA, in. They thought they had leverage, that the league couldn't function without a new CBA. They assumed that pressure would force ownership to accept their revenue-sharing demands. But the owners just called that bluff. Here's the timeline. January 11th, teams start contacting free agents. January 20th, core player designations are due. The business of basketball doesn't stop. Players still need contracts. Teams still need to fill rosters. Expansion teams still need to draft players. None of it pauses just because the union wants a bigger slice of the revenue pie. Here's the kicker. The players aren't even unified on what they want. Superstars like Aya Wilson stand to gain the most from maximizing individual salaries, while role players care more about raising the salary floor and improving minimum deals. In theory, revenue sharing benefits everyone. In practice, it's the stars who reap the largest gains from a percentage of revenue model, and that creates tension within the union.
Man, we got to keep business moving. Okay. Let's get ahead of some things here. Let's not wait. You guys can proceed as usual. This is what they're on. The same sources told Front Office Sports they viewed going through the motions of free agency without a CBA in place as pointless. Under the expired CBA, qualifying offers including core designations, which grants teams exclusive negotiating rights to a player under the tag, could be sent out no later than January.
Let's break down what the owners actually offered, because the WNBPA's public statements make it sound like they're being lowballed. A $1.3 million maximum salary represents a 160% increase over the previous $241,984 max under the expired CBA. $550,000 mid-tier contracts are more than double what most veteran players currently make. Rookie salaries jumping to $250,000 means first-year players would now earn more than many current All-Stars. These aren't small raises. This is a complete overhaul of the salary structure, offered while the league is still operating at a loss. The WNBA has yet to turn a profit. The NBA has been subsidizing operations for 27 years. Yes, the league is growing. Yes, ratings are up. Yes, sponsorship deals are increasing. But growth is not equal to profitability. Now, the Players' Union wants a revenue-sharing model similar to the NBA, where players take roughly 50% of basketball-related income. Sounds fair, until you realize the WNBA doesn't actually have basketball-related income to share yet. What exists instead is investment capital, NBA subsidies, and projected revenue from the Caitlin Clark effect. You can't divide revenue that doesn't exist.
Baseline things in order, even though the actual number can't be agreed upon, because once the new CBA is signed, that number, that financial number will change, but at least they have the opportunity to see, hey, who wants to go where, who's willing to commit where, who's feeling froggy and interested in certain markets. That way it will, because free agency, everything is going to be condensed now. So everything's going to be moving fast. So they figure, hey, if we can get some things going.
Watch what unfolded during that league call to general managers. The message was crystal clear. We're not playing games. The WNBPA issued a statement accusing ownership of bad faith negotiations, of undervaluing players, and of suppressing their earning potential. The owner's response: carry on with business as usual. This isn't panic. This is confidence, and confidence backed by legal authority. The status quo period isn't some loophole the league is exploiting. It's exactly how labor law works. When a CBA expires without a replacement, both sides can continue operating under the previous agreement's terms while negotiating a new one. The difference? The owners are using this time strategically, making moves and planning ahead, while the union focuses on public statements about fairness and principles.
Everybody won't feel so rushed, even though it is going to be rushed. But hey, the owners are trying to move forward. They responded with a statement. They're already contacted every team and told them January 11th, start contacting the free agents you're going to be interested in by the 20th. Whatever players you are going to tag or whatever, or protect or whatever, go ahead and get that in, and we're moving on. So that's what it is right now, man. The players look crazy right now. Players look crazy. They thought they had so much damn leverage, man.